Amaris said, as she brushed her hair back again while taking in the crowd of monkeys. Now, I think all of you owe me lunch money. So if you would be so kind as to get in a line and come at me one at a time, that would be appreciated. They did not listen to her. She rather had the impression that they did not understand her at all. Although many of the monkeys had broken out into smaller-scale fights on either end of the hall, plenty of them still made their way for her anyway. Without Mike to worry about, however, she felt free to let loose. 7 of them made a beeline for her. The first leapt upwards, brought its hands together, and brought them down like a hammer. Amaris telekinetically pushed the creature backwards. It screamed as it flew through the air and slammed into a computer lab window on the opposite end of the wall, shattering it to pieces. The second and third ran towards her together, behind her. She looked over her shoulder, a bored expression on her face, as they poised to spring. This time she gave one of them a slight push to the side, enough to bump it forceful into its companion. The two turned on each other almost immediately, fighting and clawing for dominance, as Amaris focused her attention on the remaining 4. She spread her arms wide and turned herself into a massive gorilla. She slammed her hands against the ground and roared mightily. Almost instinctively, the smaller monkeys turned tail and ran back down the hall and out of sight. Amaris shifted back into her human form with a smile on her face. So far, everything was going about as well as she could hope. Mike was safe, Soleil was out of her hair, and Esmeralda seemed to be way out of her depth. Now, it was only a matter of finding her. Amaris thought, as she stepped down the hall lightly. She could not make out her aura or her scent, but that was not particularly unusual. It was fairly easy to mask your presence from a vampire if you had the knowledge to do so. Amaris turned the corner and watched as a monkey leapt upward onto a printer and reached downward, yanking papers by the dozen and throwing them into the air. They weren't even all that aggressive. Amaris thought to herself as she stepped past it. She did not even bother transforming herself into mist, or something smaller. The monkey was too preoccupied to bother her. It was such a strange tactic, Amaris thought to herself, as she passed by several monkeys running around wildly in a classroom. Usually monsters would be given enough intelligence to know that their purpose in life was to come after her. But these things, although certainly aggressive and violent, seemed to have no qualms with doing whatever they wanted. Esmeralda was never going to get her like this. In fact, she could probably just go home right now, suck Mike dry, and allow these things to run wild with no repercussions. And when Esmeralda showed up to confront her again, she would kill her without a second thought. And that would be that.